Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Soft Girl, Strong World. Today, I wanted to do sort of a solo episode on things that are currently happening in my life right now that I think are pretty beneficial to talk about because low-key, this is like a therapy for me. So we're going to take full advantage of this. So yeah, basically, I wanted to talk about some things that I'm kind of just learning, kind of just tying everything together that has happened to me over the past few years in my life. Like I would say like my mid 20s to like now. I'm basically feeling like I'm sort of like in a transition phase. So I had such a different mindset is the best way that like I can describe it. My mindset back then was very much like we're going to do things for money. And I'm going to be hustling and I'm going to try to make money. That's literally all I cared about. I would say I was pretty immature. Always a people pleaser. Always. Always wanted to please people. Always wanted to be around people. Even if I didn't want to hang out, I would do it just because they wanted to hang out. For me, what hits the most is that I was a people pleaser with my family. I did it a lot with my parents. I tried to go to college like 3 times. My dad always really wanted me to go to school, university, and I don't know. I didn't have the best relationship with my mom, and I was living with her at the time as my parents were divorced when I was 9. And I sort of like was, I don't want to say distant, but I sort of was kind of just jumping everywhere back and forth. Like my relationship with my mom kind of impacted a lot of my stability, but I tried to, as best as I could, please my dad. And I always tried to go to school. I always tried to do what's right for him. He was very much like, go to school, finish school, get married, have kids, find someone that's going to be good for you. And I kind of always wanted to follow through with that for him, but never happened. I felt like it was so weird. Like in my soul, I always kind of felt like I wasn't a school person. Like I always felt like I was meant to do different things, but also I wouldn't know because I was also just always like disrupted with school. Yeah, life always kind of like no, like every time that I tried. I feel like with that, there was a lot of isolation that I experienced in my life, and this means like with everyone. Like if I had to talk about the amount of like people that I have in my life, I would say that I have literally probably like 5 people. And I'm talking about I used to be like I used to have like so many friends, and I don't have anyone anymore. I think all of my relationships, God has kind of like taken me apart from that, without me wanting that. It has kind of just been taken away from me. And at the time, I was so pissed off because I didn't understand, even with like my family members, like I didn't understand why certain things would happen and why we would kind of just fall out of place and why we couldn't be on the same page. Because I wanted to be, I'm a very social person, like, but back then I was like wanting to be around people because I didn't want to be alone. Wow. I'm like saying that out loud. And that's like my first time, like actually like, yeah, heavy. I didn't want to be alone. I think it was for a purpose. Like I think God was putting me in every situation that I was in. It was for a purpose. Like I never understood it until later, and I always understood it later. Something that really did hurt me was I had a best friend, and we were friends for since I was like 9 years old until probably like my mid 20s, like 26, 27, around there. Oh, she was like someone that I grew up with. Like she was the only person that I could say was like my actual best friend. And I noticed that we were kind of experiencing life differently as we became an adult. I remember back then I used to do the worst things. Like I was doing bad stuff, like in toxic relationships, things I didn't love myself back then. And how could I? I didn't think anyone really loved me either, except for her. Except for her. Like, I felt like she understood me in all of my levels. Like, she was the sister that I've always wanted. I just remember we kind of just fell off because she was experiencing some domestic abuse. I tried to help her, but this is just what I do. I try to help everyone. And I try to help people who don't want to be helped. And it was hurting me seeing her in that situation. Eventually, we just kind of fell apart. I just couldn't do it anymore because I just realized that I was becoming a different person as an adult. And I wanted her to be strong the way that I wanted to be strong for her. And at the moment, it wasn't like that. It sounds so fucked up, but like as much as it hurt me, I had to walk away because it was really like affecting me and my mental and all of it. So I had to walk away. And I was so angry. I was so angry. I just remember, like, I was like, God, literally, you're taking all my friends away. And then you're taking away this one. Like, you're taking away the one that I love the fucking most. Like, she has seen me go through everything in my life. And I loved her. I did. I loved her a lot. I loved her like my sister. I loved her like my family. She was my family. So for me, it was cutting off a family member. And it hurt. But later, we got to talk. Later in life, like, we didn't talk for a few years. And, you know, I felt like I had to explain to her what happened during that time. So I messaged her. We spoke. And I just remember seeing her. And I was like, sort of like relieved in a weird way that it happened the way that it did, because it had to happen that way. Like, it felt like at the moment when we met up, like it had to happen that way. I just felt like I had a sense of understanding in that moment. Back then, she wasn't the only one that I wanted to fix. I wanted to fix everyone. I wanted to fix guys in my relationships. Oof, like people that I were with that were clearly not meant for me. I didn't know any better. I wanted to fix everyone. I wanted to fix everyone. And it was people that I loved. Like, I didn't have way to kind of express myself in that sense. And I didn't feel like I could talk in a room or I could be myself. And I knew in my heart that the only thing that I had was, like, I really knew how to love someone. Well, what I thought was love. And I always wanted to please people, fix people, be what people wanted me to be. And man, when I tell you that isolation that I've experienced in doing that was, yeah. I remember there was a moment in time when I was like begging God for some money. I was begging for money. I was like, please just give me this, just give me that. I won't do it again. I won't do it again. And it never came. It never came. And this is big because everything that I pray for seems to happen. You could put a Bible in front of me. I have no clue what's in that Bible. I've never read a Bible, but I will tell you I believe in God because of everything that has happened in my life. Everything that I have ever prayed for has come true. But not when I did that. And it was like I was sort of forced to be a different person. I was forced to be alone, to experience isolation. I had absolutely no friends. I had absolutely no one. I remember even with some of my family members, I did not have a relationship with either that I was close with. Completely alone. completely alone. It sucks because I've had to learn that even I was never taught ever that if people are bad for your mental health or your energy, which I'm a big believer in, it's okay to not be associated with them. It's okay to keep your distance. It's okay to like cut them off, if you will. I never knew that. Never. I would keep people around. I was extremely attached. In isolation is when I discovered myself that I had attachment issues, abandonment issues, never wanted to be alone. I had a codependency issue. I had anxiety, which I didn't even know I had when I was little. And I had anxiety for years growing up. And my family doesn't believe in therapy, not in my culture. I remember I tried to mention anxiety before, and they just were like, oh, yeah, we all experience that. But now as adults, it's a different story. Like, my parents are pretty good now because I think they've also had to learn with me that this shit exists and it's real. Yeah. In that isolation, I've had to learn to protect myself. I've had to learn all of my issues. I've had to face all of my issues. I've had to basically teach myself that it's okay to choose you first. And it's okay to set boundaries for yourself. And it's okay to protect your energy. And it's okay to not allow people around you if it doesn't do you any good. I've had to learn that the hard way. And I've been hurt a lot, but I believe in hurt and pain, there is power. I'm a big believer in that. Being in Australia was another part of my isolation. Although I did have my partner, you still feel isolated because I didn't have any friends. I didn't have anyone. And now not only am I isolated from home, I'm extremely far. So I experienced isolation to a whole other level, which I was prepared for because everything else sort of just prepared me for this moment. I feel like God was kind of just preparing me for this, to be here, to accept things, to allow things to benefit me without me even knowing that it will benefit me. And I have understood that I have to release control and I have to accept the fact that things happen as they are. And this is why I'm so into my spirituality and I don't understand sometimes and I get upset at myself, but sometimes I try to, but sometimes it's hard because when you're in a negative situation, you're like, oh, I just want to control this, why can't I just control the outcome? Why does it have to be like this? I always remind myself, I always step back and remind myself, even in negatives, there are positive things that will happen that even if you don't see it coming. So I've sort of just aligned myself with that mindset. I hold no grudges anymore. I'm a healing progress, and I think that's what life's about. We go on to get enlightened, and we learn how to heal, and it's a progress. I think your life is meant to do that. But I am so proud of myself because being in your 20s and, I'm going to be almost 30 now. So this is my last year being in my 20s. And I can literally say that all of my years in my 20s was catastrophe. Catastrophe. And it's sort of like now that I'm understanding that in that catastrophe, there was a beautiful flower being grown. And it's beautiful because I forgive. I did a meditation the other day in which I haven't told anyone about, but I'll tell you. In my meditation, I'm learning love and kindness. These are the emotions that I want to live off of and that I am living off of at the moment. I'm noticing that when I give love and kindness to people, I feel whole. I feel great. I feel like I've lifted it off of me. And I'm choosing to live in this because I'm understanding that you even have to love people who don't know how to love. You even have to love people who may not love you back. And that's okay because that's what real love is, right? It's unconditional. During my meditation, I remember that I was doing a guided one, and in the guided meditation, it was sort of asking me, like, what am I grateful for? Who do I forgive? Why do I forgive? And during that meditation, the first people that came into my mind were my parents. And it's crazy because, oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. It's crazy because I grew up being so angry with my parents. I didn't understand why they were like this. Like, I never understood. And look, they're not terrible, but they're human beings. And maybe they were hurt. Maybe they didn't get the love that they deserved. I don't know. But I tried to find excuses for that, probably a lot of time, like a lot of years. But during that meditation, they were the first people that came to my mind. I don't know why, but they were the first people that came in, and I just remember saying to myself, I forgive you. I know that you did the best that you could with me, and that was enough. And I was like, wow, I didn't have that guilt anymore. I didn't have it. It just went away. It was insane. I've never ever told them, about, like, I never told them anyone about this meditation, but it's just things like that. You just know that everything is happening for you in good purpose. And I'm probably gonna have to tell them this, but it's the understanding of, like, I'm actually letting go of who I used to be. Man, I used to hold so many grudges. I used to be so pissed off. I used to be like, yeah, we're going to get revenge on these people. Like, I'm going to hold that. Now I don't even say, like, I don't like to say the word hate. Like, I don't like to say, like, I don't hate anyone. And if you know me, you know I don't do that. And before I used to do that a lot. And now I'm just like, there's no one on my list that I can be like, yeah, you're actually someone that I despise or like, no. I think my identity, my mindset is sort of shifting in that way that I rather move with love, and I rather show people that love exists and there are good things in this world and good things do happen to good people, and it is all for a purpose. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned being isolated. Man, the loneliness, it gets to you. Your mind plays tricks with you. The negative side to things are terrible. Like, when you're lonely, you think of the worst things. And in my place, I always wanted someone to be there for me, like, sincerely. And I've noticed that people who are hurt, people who can't be capable of that, they can't be there for you. Because how? They can't even be there for themselves. And I think I always just expected people to just treat me the way that I treated them. I remember my brother telling me, like, you can't do that because you can't expect people to treat you the way that you treat them. You're setting your expectation up for failure. You have to treat people the way that you want to treat them. I've learned that. So I'm sort of proud. No, I am proud. I am very proud of who I'm becoming. I'm very, very proud of the meditation that I'm doing lately. I am becoming so much more open minded being here, being isolated. I never meditated back at home. Like, I thought that I was meditating. Mm. I'm meditating like on a different level here. Like, it's insane, like the things that I'm learning while I'm meditating and the thoughts that are coming into my head, just the things that happen. I remember, like, I did a TikTok video about a meditation that I did the other day, and I'll share it here. During this meditation, I remember I was really distressed, like very like going through it. Like, I just wanted to go home. I didn't want to be here anymore. I was feeling like, okay, well, this place probably isn't for me. Like, I'm just trying my best and I'm not getting anything in return. And I remember that I was just praying. I pray every night. And I just remember, like, for a while, I was just praying just to pray. My prayers were meaningless. Like, I was praying without faith. I was just doing it just because I was used to doing it. I remember that day, I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I prayed so hard that night before I meditated. And I was like, if this is the wrong thing for me to do, show me. Show me now. Show me if I'm not supposed to be here, take me home. Like, and I just remember the next day I meditated. And during my meditation, I was literally thinking of nothing. Nothing. I just let my mind go. And it was like a love and kindness meditation. It was a guided one. And I remember this was the first meditation that I did here when I was sitting with my eyes closed. And I got out of that meditation and I opened my eyes. I had like the biggest enlightenment of what I have been doing wrong being here. I kept comparing my life to my life before I came here. I lived in Miami for a period of my life. I kept comparing myself to what I had before. I wasn't enjoying this. I wasn't enjoying what I had in front of me. It was like there, but it wasn't. I was living in misery, just every day, just living in misery. And I swear, when I got out of that meditation, it was like such a huge enlightenment that I had to delete every single thing on my phone that reminded me of my past. Because I would constantly look at my phone, at like my old pictures, comparing myself to my old life, what I don't have here, what I do, what I like, just the worst thing. When I got out of that meditation, I just was like, I need to delete everything. And that's exactly what I did. And it was honestly insane. Like, I would have never thought that I would do that because oh my God, I had so many memories. But I had to do it. I had to do it to stop comparing myself to the past because I'm not that person anymore. Like, I'm becoming someone that I've always wanted to be. And I never would have thought that I would have been that person. And I had to let it go in order for me to experience this, to experience my new mind, to experience everything that's coming towards me, all the love that I'm getting. Oh my God, when I did that, I noticed when I deleted myself and stopped comparing, the way that I looked at my partner, he doesn't even know this, but like the way that I looked at him was like, wow, you seriously love me. Like, you're doing all of this for me. And me being here and taking care of me and things that I'm not even asking. I don't have to ask you to do this. Like, you're just doing it. And I never noticed that. Oh my God. And all the times that I like blamed him. Crazy. But like, I was in the worst times and I was just blaming everyone in my surroundings. And sadly, he was the only one closest to me. And he was getting all the heat. There are things that I'm improving, which I'm forever grateful for. And I know that there are going to be more things that I'm improving on. But this is what makes me me right now. This is what makes me who I am right now. Because I'm deciding to move with these emotions. I'm deciding to give kindness to people, to give love to people, to accept what it is that comes to me and to release what it is that I don't want anymore. I'm accepting that I had to go through those things in order to be here. I had to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be who I am. You know, like this like healing journey and stuff like that. Like I feel like it's such a trend nowadays. Like everybody's like, oh, like on their healing journey or whatever. And like people don't really know what that means. Social media makes it really easy for us to be influenced. You know, there's a negative side to it, but there's also a really good positive side to it too. With like healing and spirituality and things like that, like you can really learn some things, man. I follow some really great people. You know, some people do it for like, I don't know, like a trend or whatever, but like it's real life shit. Healing is real life shit. That ain't no trend. You know what I mean? Like I've had to seriously heal myself. A lot of people are scared to be isolated. A lot of people are scared to be alone. A lot of people can't handle being alone. They don't know what to do when they're alone with their thoughts, with themselves. And it's scary, but it's something that you have to go through. Isolation is one of the most powerful things that a human being can do for themselves. Look, there was this video I saw the other day, and it was about this man comparing our life to an oyster, which sounds crazy, but I'll explain it to you. He was basically explaining that in this oyster, there's pain, right? When an oyster releases a pearl, there's a lot of pain. Basically, he was trying to say that with us experiencing all this pain comes the beauty, comes the enlightenment, comes the self-growth, the self-love, everything that we are supposed to aspire to be as human beings. And it was beautiful because I would have never guessed that. An oyster, I mean, what the fuck? I would have never guessed that. But, you know, when you're listening to it, it's like, wow, that what the fuck? That makes sense. And it's true. And it's like God does everything in the most mysterious ways. Like, come on, like an oyster. And that's our life. Like, I mean, there's so many other things too, right? But like, that's just one of them. Imagine just having that beauty come out of it and feeling like, wow, like you've been through shit. No one can tell you anything. You know what the fuck it's like. And no one can tell you that, but guess what? You can teach other people. You can teach other people about your pain and heal other people through your pain. You can heal other people through what you've learned because you've healed yourself. It's a process, but isolation is one of the best things that I think happens to us humans, that what happens to us people. And it's what's gotten me here. It's what's gotten me here. It's what's shown me about myself. And I'm very, very much grateful that God has done that for me. I'm not angry anymore. And I'm just ready. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready for what's to come. I'm so ready. Yeah. And I'm honestly very, very, very proud. I'm so proud of this person that I'm becoming. This is, I think, honestly, who I've always wanted to be inside. I just never got the chance. I never got the chance to truly be that person. Before I go, I will just say, continue to believe in yourself. Continue to have faith in yourself, in others, in people who maybe you don't ever think you can have faith in. Find forgiveness in other people because there will be such a weight lifted off of you. And I know that that's easier said than done. Trust me, there is such a weight that comes off of you when you have forgiven people, when you have forgiven yourself. I've learned to forgive myself for every single bad decision that I have ever made. I've learned to forgive myself. And that has allowed me to forgive other people and understand why other people are the way that they are. Sometimes I don't have to. Sometimes I don't want to. I just accept it sometimes. But that doesn't mean I'm a dumb bitch. It just means that I'm protecting my peace. And I'm loving with all of my heart for those who I care for and who I believe I have wronged in the past or have wronged me. I forgive them. It's the best way to live. Forgive yourself, forgive other people, continue to live with God. Put God before everything. Even if you don't even believe in God, try to believe in yourself because we all have God in us. I will definitely leave it there now. I will see you guys on the next episode. And thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It does allow me to interact with all of you. It helps me. It helps me know what you guys want to see, what you like to see. And you guys are more than welcome to comment and just please do leave things that you would like to hear and talk about, hear me talk about. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.